Okay, so last time I did a 10-minute presentation in this group. It was about how I support people to get out of jobs that they hate and into doing something that they love. And I really enjoy that work because I just love people being free, successful and happy, and it follows a path that I've been down as well. However, I do recognise that there are actually lots of people who are in the right job and they enjoy what they do, or they've got their own business that they already love, and I've realised that I do a lot of work to help those people as well, whether they're employed or self-employed, whatever. So I'm going to go through some of the examples of ways that I help people in business today. So today I'm the business wizard, or the biz whiz, perhaps. So this talk is called Business Success or Failure is an Inside Job. We've heard from Tina just now about lots of the things that impact on a business, and there are lots of external factors that you have to deal with, of course, and it's very important to be aware of that. However, there's a lot going on inside as well, and it's how you react or respond to the things that happen on a day-to-day basis, which is so important as to whether your business is a success or a failure. So that's why it's an inside job, and it really is. This is just two examples of stuff that's going on for people internally when they're looking at things that are going on in their environment. Firstly, this is the brain, as you probably know. There's a small area of the brain around here called the reticular activating system, and it filters sensory information based on your beliefs. So it's showing that all the sensory information then goes out into the brain, and people react in very different ways depending on what's happened to them. It's actually programmed by the emotions. Emotions happen in the body. So this is a study of 7,000 people with the average of where they felt different emotions, ranging from anger, fear. Apparently shame makes you look like Spider-Man. So, but that just shows where people have those feelings. And when people have those feelings, it actually impacts on what's going on in the reticular activating system, and enables them and causes them to react in a certain way, basically clouded by emotion and not acting in an objective way. And that can be very difficult if they are coming from a place of fear or something like that. Now, the tapping techniques that I use they work on both these areas. They help you to change beliefs, which actually help you to respond in a different way, and they enable people to let these emotions flow in a natural way rather than being bottled up. We're very good at bottling our emotions up and being stuck with them. Tapping releases out. I haven't got time to go into how that works today. That would be another 10-minute talk all on its own, but if anyone wants to know, very happy to talk about that. So, why me? Why would anyone work with a long-haired weirdo like me on their business? Well, there's actually quite a number of things. Firstly, I really love seeing people succeed. It's what I'm all about. I love seeing people free, freedom, happiness, success. They're all very high values for me. Really keen to have that happening for people. Also, my background, before I did what I do now, I have got some very high-level business experience. I was a co-owner of an independent financial planning practice, which is still successful, still going on. I was also, before that, I was actually a business consultant for financial advisors, not adventures, but might have been a few, through Standard Life, and they gave us top quality training in business. And it's only when I look back on it, so we didn't appreciate it when we were there, just how useful and valuable that training that they gave us was. So I've got that sort of clarity on things, which I don't see in a lot of small business owners out there actually, when you meet them. It's quite surprising. I've now got my own business as well, and I absolutely love it. It's on my terms. I've got a really great work-life balance. I do all sorts of things that I like. There's probably a bit too much balance and probably not quite enough work, in fact, but that's all good. I certainly live the way that I want to live. And I believe that the tapping techniques that I have are the most effective in the world for overcoming resistance to actually getting things moving and changing in your life. I've done 600 or 700 client sessions now. I've got a really good idea of these things work very effectively, how they work, and I'm seeing them working very well with individual clients and also people in their business. So I'm going to go through some case studies, 4 case studies very quickly. No one in this room but they might be things that people can recognise. So first one was, this is someone actually in employment who worked in a medium-sized environmental consultancy. As part of their role, they had to step up and deliver company news to 50 people, quite a high level, and they were absolutely terrified about it. So I did 3 sessions with them, purely on the feelings and beliefs. And what I actually do is, once I've helped people to clear how they feel about, this was actually a phobia, they were then able to, I'd walk them through the future of actually delivering the presentation, feeling really good about it, all while using tapping techniques, which enable the body to feel completely calm while they go through the whole process. The end result is, they wrote to me and said that they absolutely loved doing the presentation. It completely changed their life. Now, this isn't like the work that Jen does. Jen teaches people with fantastic structure of how to create a really good presentation and a lot of mindset stuff as well. But this is for people who would be, they would be terrified to even think about going on a course like that, because just the idea of standing up in front of a room would just leave them cold, basically. So it's for dealing with phobias. It is the biggest phobia in the world, or certainly one of the top few. So any phobias, any fears can work with, such as this one, get on the phone. So this was a guy from a creative agency, and he really hated making calls. He just, he could pick the phone up and make calls. He felt like he was annoying people, he felt like he was hassling people, he had all these issues around what he was doing. He actually, I didn't work with him personally, he came to 2 group sessions with me, and he tapped along while other people were working on their issues. He gave me a call and told me that he'd actually tripled the amount of new clients he'd received from making phone calls. But not only that, he had even managed to feel really good about making the calls, and that there was actually an abundant business out there, and it was a given that he could have his share rather than he was scrabbling for business from people. And he also became far more confident in his product and what he had to offer, so that he could get out there and feel, and just become way more successful, really. So that was great to get that sort of validation. So clear thinking about charging and proposition. So old thinking patterns and emotional hooks from people's past cause them to have irrational thoughts, yet they believe these thoughts are true. They believe they're the truth. As well as doing, like, EFT is quite specific, but you can just tap while talking through something in a certain way, and it can be very good at releasing issues. This guy he's got a really top quality, very specific coaching proposition that he was trying to shoehorn into the networking small business environment, and he was charging peanuts for it. He was going to need loads and loads of clients to fulfill his needs, and just through working with me, he realised that it's a corporate proposition. He needs to be going into companies. He's able to triple his prices, so to £5,000 for a coaching package, because he was able to see it. He was seeing it as he had to charge by the hour. This was looking at it as a value proposition, and I mean, for what he's going to be giving these people, he'll be saving them potentially hundreds of thousands of pounds for these corporations for his very, very good quality £5,000 fee. However, in the small business networking environment, there's no way he would have ever been able to achieve. So just by getting clear, releasing his emotional attachment to his beliefs, he was able to completely change and expand his mind and move forward in business in that way. So this was a video testimonial, but I haven't got the Wi-Fi. Wouldn't work here, unfortunately. So it's building self-confidence. This was Paul. Came to me for money issues. This was, of course, an inside job. He was sabotaging himself. He ended up with increased self-confidence, which meant he could accept his own value in the market and increase his rates to a decent level, which can support him and his family. Very key. He stopped having to be perfect. Perfectionism destroys businesses because they don't get information out there. One of the best blogs I get is someone he says, take this, the information's too important, have the grammatical errors on me, because he doesn't care about perfectionism. I really like that. So he no longer had to be perfect, and he's also created great boundaries with his clients regarding timescales and not always rushing around for them. So it's really good stuff. So here's some examples of referrals for me. people who are busy fools, running around, not making a lot of money, moaning about work, missing promotions, avoiding presentations, phone, meetings, whatever, going through change, not getting enough or not getting the right clients for them. They want to perform at their best, either in general or with a big event coming up. Unhappily competitive, always comparing themselves to others rather than just doing their best. Blaming circumstances rather than themselves, or rather than looking at what they can do to change it. Working ridiculous hours, chasing next big thing, stressed, anxious. I can work with individuals or teams, and that's individuals anywhere in the world, because I can do it over Skype, and speaking opportunities as well. So, of course, happiness is an inside job as well, so it's not all doom and gloom. You can choose in any moment to be happy or whatever emotional response that you want. So that's it today. Any questions?